Good morning. I'm not going to make a huge loud noise this morning, but I will later. I'm going to read the law for now. Starting in Leviticus 6, going past sacrificial laws, because sin offerings and burnt offerings have to be interpreted in a different way today than they were back then. So I feel like reading it out of the King James Version is just going to cause confusion. We're not killing any goats, and we're not killing any cows. If you do that, there is a certain way that you need to. And I don't have any of that. So, starting in Leviticus 6, this is the important stuff. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, if a soul sin and commit a trespass against the Lord, and lie unto his neighbor in that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or hath deceived his neighbor, or have found that which was lost, and lieth concerning it, and sweareth falsely, in any of all these that a man doeth sinning therein. So if a man trespasses against his neighbor, and this can be taken in a literal sense. It can also be taken in other senses, like your neighbor in your cubicle at work. I mean, we're talking your neighbor, your neighbor in whatever circumstance that might be, someone that you definitely have to deal with because you live in close proximity or work together. Then it shall be, because he has sinned and is guilty, sorry, these are very thin pages, he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he has deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered to him to keep, or the lost thing which he found, or all about which he has sworn falsely. He shall even restore it in the principal, and shall add the fifth part more thereto, and give it unto him to whom it appertaineth in the day of his trespass offering. So if you have to give it back plus more. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord, a ram without blemish, and the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord. Boo-boo. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, command Aaron and his sons, saying, this is the law of the burnt offering. It is the burnt offering because of the burning upon the altar all night unto the morning, and the fire of the altar shall be burning in it. A burnt offering can be also, if you're not burning any goats like me, an offering can be compared to lifting up your hands in praise and giving him that glory and surrendering whatever it is that made you sin is enough of a sacrifice for him. All right, let's keep going. I don't really want to read anything about burning animals right now. The priest's garments. Can you stop that? Stop it right now. If you don't stop, I'm gonna paka you. Okay. I have this highlighted. Do not drink wine nor strong drink, you or your sons with you, when you go into the tabernacle of the congregation. lest you die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, that you may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which the Lord had spoken to them by the hand of Moses, and that you put the difference between holy and unholy, between clean and unclean. The clean and the unclean. Okay, clean and unclean meats. This is a good place to start. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying unto them, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which you shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever parteth the hoof, and is cloven-footed, and chews the cud, among the beasts that you shall eat. Nevertheless, these shall you not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divided not the hoof, he is unclean. And the hare, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean to you. Hares don't have hoofs. And the swine, though he divideth the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh you shall not eat, and their carcass you shall not touch. They are unclean to you. Camels, coney, rabbits, pigs, off limits. These you shall eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever has fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them you shall eat. And all that have not fins and scales, in the seas and in the rivers, of all that moves in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. They shall be even an abomination unto you, and you shall not eat of their flesh, but you shall have their carcasses in abomination. Whatsoever hath fins, has no fins nor scales in the water, that shall be an abomination unto you. And these are they which you shall have an abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. The eagle, and the ossifrage, and the osprey, and the vulture, and the kite after his kind, every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the night hawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind, and the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gier eagle, and the stork, the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. Yet these may eat. All fowls that creep, going upon all fours, shall be an abomination unto you. What kind of fowls crawl around on all fours? Griffins, maybe? Yet these may you eat of every flying, creeping thing that goes upon all four, which have legs above their feet to leap withal upon the earth. Flying, creeping thing that goes upon all four. Okay. Even these of them you may eat. The locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind. But all other flying, creeping things which have 4 feet shall be an abomination unto you. Okay, we can eat beetles. I thought beetles for sure would be unclean. So we can, as far as bugs go, we can have locusts, grasshoppers, which I would probably be more comfortable with those two. They're the biggest anyway. My grandfather used to eat grasshoppers alive, and when I was really little, he almost convinced me to do it, but I didn't. I did not. But he was in Vietnam, so he was crazy. Weird. Okay. And for these you shall be unclean. Whosoever touches the carcass of them shall be unclean until the evening. And whosoever beareth out the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. The carcasses of every beast which divideth the hoof and is not cloven-footed, nor cheweth the cud, are unclean to you. Everyone that touches them shall be unclean. So the carcass of every beast which divideth the hoof and is not cloven-footed, nor cheweth the cud, are unclean to you. I don't know who that is. And whatsoever goeth upon his paws among all manner of beasts that go on all four, those are unclean to you. Whoever touches their carcass shall be unclean until the evening. So anything that has paws on all fours is off limits. He that beareth the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. They are unclean to you. These also shall be unclean to you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth. The weasel. I have a weasel. And the mouse. And the tortoise after his kind. And the ferret. I have a ferret. And the ferret, and the chameleon, and the lizard, and the snail, and the mole. Snails are unclean. These are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever doth touch them when they be dead shall be unclean until the evening. And upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, doth fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, or sack, whatsoever vessel it be, wherein any work is done. It must be put unto the water, and it shall be unclean until the evening, so it shall be cleansed. And every earthen vessel whereunto any of them falleth, whatsoever it is, shall be unclean, and you shall break it. So if you have a dead mouse and you find it in a vase or a bowl, you have to break it. You cannot use it again. Of all meat which may be eaten, that on which such water cometh shall be unclean, and all drink that may be drunk in every such vessel shall be unclean. And everything whereupon any part of their carcass falleth shall be unclean, whether it be the oven ranges for pots, they shall be broken down, for they are unclean. Nevertheless, a fountain or pit, wherein there is plenty of water, shall be clean, but that which toucheth their carcass shall be unclean. So if you have an unclean animal fall into your water, if any part of their carcass fall upon any sowing seed, which is to be sown, it shall be clean. So seeds are fine. If any water be put upon the seed, and any part of their carcass fall thereon, it shall be unclean to you. Okay, so as long as the seeds are dry, they're okay. And if any beast of which you might eat die, he that toucheth the carcass thereof shall be unclean until the evening. And he that eateth of the carcass of it shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. He also that beareth the carcass of it shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. And every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth shall be an abomination. It shall not be eaten. Whatsoever goeth upon the belly, and whatsoever goeth upon all four, or whatsoever has more feet among all creeping things that creep upon the earth, them ye shall not eat, for they are an abomination. So like things that have 6 legs, bugs that have 6 legs or 8 legs, cannot eat. Has to have 4 legs if it's a bug. You shall not make yourselves abominable with any of these creeping things that creeps, neither shall you make yourselves unclean with them, that you should be defiled thereby. For I am the Lord your God. You shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and you shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall you defile yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. For I am the Lord that bringeth you up out of the land of Egypt to be your God. You shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. This is the law of the beasts, and of the fowl, and of every living creature that moveth in the waters, and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth, to make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beast that may be eaten and the beast that may not be eaten. Okay, well, I hope that you got something out of that. I love going through the law and refreshing my memory. And it's just really helpful because none of us actually know what we're doing here on earth. So it's nice to have some instructions and to not be so arrogant that you think you're better than them, so that they actually can help you. I know I look like a mess right now. I just woke up, but that's okay. Yam Teruah. Make a loud noise once everybody's up.